Hello. You don't know me, but I'd like to know you and what you're going through right now. Likely, people have not listened to what you're going through and how you feel and haven't wholeheartedly listened to you. I want to know this and what it is you need. How can we make the workplace better for you so you feel like you are supported and you belong? Many of us, I'm not alone on this, have had to reach out to Asian strangers. Yes, on Facebook and kind of like online dating, looking for Asian strangers, but for different purposes. Because who can you relate to? Who is there? Can I share my story with somebody who will understand and who will listen to me and will validate and where I can feel like I'm heard and they're not going to gaslight me? Yes. So, and my network is primarily white, so it's been very, very difficult. And many of us with established networks, our friends just don't get Asian Americans and they don't see any problems and are busy. They're too busy to learn. So that is why I've dedicated all my time, all my hours in this last year and some time to Asian inclusivity and to make sure that it is safe for us to walk out the door. Currently, I no longer walk alone, but eventually I would like to. We've all experienced discrimination for being Asian, but at varying degrees. And because I was not bullied as a child, I have a lot of privilege to not be triggered like most Asians. So I'm using this privilege to amplify other Asian voices and to make changes. I'm Japanese, Chinese, and Swedish, fourth generation in America. My Swedish grandma is blonde. My Japanese grandma is like tiny, even smaller than me. And my mom, she was born during the Japanese internment camps. And so she was not taught Japanese. My dad, who's Chinese and Swedish, did not have the typical Chinese American upbringing. He had very limited guardianship, and nobody really believed in him and didn't have expectations. And he ran around the streets, with some parental guidance here and there. So that's kind of where I came from. And growing up, my lunches were sandwiches, and I needed to make them by myself. I didn't have to hide my food. I didn't have to starve myself to avoid being teased with that food discrimination. Everyone can pronounce my name, Jolene. It's a Dolly Parton song. So I didn't have that either. And no one asked to cheat off of me or to calculate for them. I was not bullied. So again, that helps me do this type of taxing, demanding work. It is a steep climb, and I can't see the top, but I believe there. I believe there is a top, and it is infuriating to see Asians that look like you and I being stabbed every day. That doesn't get old. That is just always fresh and horrible. But that is why we must persist. And I know that we have different levels of what we can do. So let's work together to make it a safer place so we can feel like we're belong. We're not going to be that perpetual foreigner forever. Let's be treated like Americans. Introduce me to your Asian affinity group, to your employer resource group. Let's start there. Other Asians are feeling the same way. I can be that bridge to be able to take what you're saying anonymously and share it and make some decisions and get the ball rolling so we can be Asian inclusive. And personally, I invite you to come out to Empowered Asians. I started two groups, Empowered Asians and Asian Allies. And Empowered Asians is that group. It's that Asian strangers. And we were able to not code switch and just talk freely and be validated there. And Asian Allies, this is where, we share how can you be a better Asian ally, a lot of non-Asians. And we're doing some big things. So I invite you to do both.